Hey, Conor Crickmore here of Neversink Farm, and on this episode of the Winter Farm, I want to talk about the unheated house. Neversink Farm is in Zone 5A, which is upstate New York. It's about 3 hours north of New York City. So it's in the mountains. It's very cold up here in the winters. It probably gets, could be -10, -15 for many, many nights in a row. It could also be that during the day for a few days, which is pretty extreme for growing vegetables. But we do really well at it, and it's an important part of our sales is the money we earn during the winter. So, if you're in a higher zone, then you just want to change things accordingly. So if you're in zone 6 or 7, then it's just going to get easier what you can do, and your options grow. But growing in the winter is something I really enjoy doing. It's way more relaxed. The place is so much more defined, and because my houses are weed free, there's not a lot of weeding, no cultivating. It's just harvesting and planting, and mostly just harvesting. And that leads me to the first important thing to learn about winter farming is it's more about harvesting than it is about planting. You need to find out when your 10-hour day is. For me, it's November 10th is when we start to get the 10-hour day here. And that's the date that you need to make sure your stuff is mature if you want to sell it in December, January, February. If it's not mature by that time, then it won't be ready. And you're looking at like a late winter, early spring, depending on how late you are and how big it is. You're looking at a much later harvest. But that's okay, because I'm always seeding. Today I'm about to seed some carrots for early spring. And that'll get me the first carrots in the outdoor market, and I'm going to seed them. And today is November 12th, so we just passed the 10-hour day, but that's fine. I can seed carrots, water them well, and get them to germinate by end of December. It's going to take a while, and sometime around February they'll start growing, and it's really about just continuing to plant. And I find that winter farming is not only about harvesting in December and January and February, but it's about getting the quickest jump on the season. Sure, you can start seeding in New York, you start seeding carrots in April or maybe even March inside of a house. But if you can seed them in November, then you're just going to get them earlier. And if you're harvesting all winter long and a bed opens up, just go ahead and seed it, because if you're selling year round, it doesn't matter when it arrives, it's going to be a welcome addition, right? Whenever something is ready to harvest in late winter or early spring, it's always a great thing. It always is going to sell, because it's just a time when things are not as available. So the mature stage is going to depend on what you're harvesting it for. So here we have tatsoi, and tatsoi I use it as a great backup for spinach. It can sell on its own. I recommend calling it maybe something else at your market, coming up with a better name. I use Asian spinach, with a subtitle of tatsoi. And it is just really hardy. So I need to get it to about, 6 inches, a nice full bed. And if I can get it to that before November 10th, then all winter long I'm going to be able to harvest this. I'll probably get, at least 5 cuttings out of it by the time it's going to flower. And even at flowering stage, you can cut it and call it Asian Rob. You can call it some different interesting names, and people are going to buy it. You can bunch it, you can sell it loose, however you want. It doesn't really matter. And the great thing about tatsoi also is you don't have to heat it in the winter. It's going to survive perfectly fine. And it just depends on, what your zone is. So in my zone, it's probably a good idea to cover it. So you just put some Agribond down on it, no big deal. The options are you can use just a wire, right, to cover a single bed, or you can use low tunnel inside, and that'll cover maybe 2 beds. There's benders where you bend electrical conduit to cover 2 beds, and then you can cover 2 beds at once. And the nice thing because I don't really like using row cover in the field because it blows away and you have to chase it down and it rips, and it's just a huge hassle. And the less hassle in farming, the better, right? You just make it easy and fun. But indoors, you don't have to worry about wind, right? Especially in the winter, because you're not going to be having your sides roll up in the middle of winter. So some clothespins, maybe just one clip on, at the end of the row so that they stay in place from just the fans maybe, or just the wind rushing in through the door. But otherwise they're going to stay in place pretty well. So that's really, really nice. So about sometime in mid-December, end of December is when I have to start putting on the row cover in the houses that are not being heated. And this is one of them. So another crop that I'm growing that's unheated is the Claytonia. Claytonia I sell on its own, but it's also a great thing to add to a salad mix. It has a lot of weight to it. It weighs a lot. It has a much more of a crispy mouthfeel than like lettuce does, so it adds some interest to the mix. And it's also another bulletproof crop, just like tatsoi. And it doesn't need to be heated, and it grows pretty rapidly. You can see we just cut it, and it's already starting to grow back. And so I don't need much of it. I don't grow more than 100 feet of it, because if it gets too big and overgrown, what happens is it's so thick that it can start to actually rot from underneath because there'll be no air getting to it. So 4 rows on it I find is perfectly fine. And this can either be done with a cedar, or you can do it with paper pot, and I do it inside with a paper pot and the zipper, and that works really, really nicely. And you can see this was just done with paper pot, and the nice thing about that is I can get it germinated really, really well in the prop house before that happens. Now the other crops, and let's go down and we'll go take a look at the spinach. Spinach is the main sort of non-heated winter green. Right, and here we have, this is space. That's the type. But, there's a lot of different spinaches you can use in the winter. The key is always going to be, as anything, it's going to be your soil is incredibly important on how well it's going to grow and whether you're going to get diseases. Because if you're getting like yellow leaves, it can either be a disease, which spinach is going to get if if the soil isn't right, or it's going to be the soil. By fixing the soil, you're going to fix both of those things. But it's not as bulletproof as topsoil. So things can happen to it. And as I said, the soil is going to prevent that. But this is probably the most important unheated winter crop. And I do it, you can see here, 4 rows done with paper pot. But direct seeding with the jang is something I also do as well. That works really, really nicely. And I find 4 rows is really easy to cut with a knife. You can also cut it with a greens harvester. But this, you're going to get 4 cuttings throughout the winter into early spring the next year. And people love spinach, they recognize it. So it's such an important crop. And so I have probably about half of this house dedicated to spinach at different growth levels, different levels of maturity, because as the summer crop comes out and the fall crop comes out and a bed opens up, I just start putting in for winter. I don't do it through a serious schedule, just start filling in. And right next to me, you can see here's something that wasn't mature by the time the 10-hour day came, but that's okay. This is mustard greens. Not as popular, but adds interest to the table. And so I only do about 50 feet of it. And this will probably be ready in February. Depends on how warm and how sunny the winter is. And over here, what we have is our carrots. And carrots I just start filling in anywhere, so that I have mature carrots. And then I have seed carrots. As I told you earlier, I'm going to be seeding carrots today for late winter, early spring. But these are ready to harvest, and I'm just keeping them in a state, a mature state, and I want to sell these in December when the value goes up. And they don't have to be heated as well. They're going to be perfectly fine just sitting in here waiting. And earlier today, it's about 11 o'clock. So it's warm in here. It's probably 70 degrees. But outside it's probably in the 30s. But this morning it was completely frozen in here. The ground had a frost on it. All the leaves were frozen. But you can see now they're perfectly fine. It's just, they come back as if nothing happened. All right, so now watering in an unheated house throughout the winter. Once you hit that 10-hour day, you won't need to water more than once a month. You know, maybe every 3 weeks. The only places you're actually going to have to water is if you're reseeding, right, to get things to germinate, and things that are just starting to grow, because the sun may dry out the soil. But once it's mature, it's holding enough water in the soil. The water table has risen. There's a canopy over the soil, right? It's shedding a canopy and shading the soil so that you're not losing moisture. So find a sunny day once a month and just water really well. Check your soil, make sure the water is getting down a few inches. And this is done in the morning so the leaves have time to dry off. And very important point and a tip on that is you want to have a vent open at the peak all winter long. In an unheated house, you want that vent open so that you can get moisture out, because moisture is going to be your enemy in the winter. You want things to be dry. You want the leaves to be dry, everything else, because it doesn't have as much time to dry off. And so in those moist conditions throughout the winter, it's just going to prove disease. You're just going to get some bad mildew and stuff. So the vents are going to really, really help. They're just going to keep getting the wet air out. So for irrigation in my house, I'm using some drip. And the nice thing about drip in the winter is even if water's in the line and freezes, it's not under pressure. So it's not going to make any difference. and they're black, and once the sun comes out it's going to unfreeze and then nothing's going to get hurt. I've never had any drip, crack, or break. The other thing is overheads, where I can water the whole house at once. And then I'm going to have handheld where I can use the boom to water beds if I'm going to be germinating. And in the course that I have, the farming course, goes into great detail about each one of those things and how to set it up. So I won't go into great detail here, but those are, I like using different watering choices for the different applications I'm going to run into, and water is so important that it's worth that investment, and especially in the winter non-heated house.